in a comment right now, some guidelines. I'll pin the comment to the top. Hi Yvonne, you're here. Oh my gosh, I just got a notification saying that I'm getting kicked off of Instagram please add your questions in the question box. IG might accidentally cut me off. Casey. IG might accidentally cut me off in a few minutes, which is fine because then I'll just pop back in. I don't know about you, but I have to set screen time limits for myself with social media. Ooh, this is crazy high today. I have to set screen time limits for myself with social media, and sometimes I forget and I go live. Is it muffled? Okay. You know what it is? It's the air conditioning. I'm going to go, I'll turn it off and open the window. Be right back. How about now? Do I still sound far away? I can also yell. I'm the only person here, so I'm not going to disrupt anyone. Hey, Carol? Does it sound better? Is it my phone? Better? Okay, cool. Amazing. Wonderful. Let's do this before the heat wave really starts to set in. Okay, I posted a comment, but I'll go over the ground rules really quickly. Today I'm doing readings by donation, so you can go ahead and send me a Venmo at Spirit Garden. If you've just joined Moonshadows, all you need to do is put an M in parentheses before your question. You don't have to worry about sending me a Venmo. If you do Venmo me a donation for a reading, I ask that you please include... There's still feedback from something. I think it's the music. How about now? Hopefully that worked. Perfect. Okay, cool. What am I saying? Oh, if you're a Moonshadows member, just put an M in parentheses before your question. I'm going to ask that you please use the question box, the little question mark and a thought bubble down on the right-hand side of the screen because it's just easier for me to keep track that way. If you do Venmo me for a reading, please include your IG screen name so that I know it's you. Last but not least, no medical or legal questions today. Before I jump into readings, I really quickly want to talk about some upcoming events at the Spirit Garden on, hold on, I can't just sit still, I have to put my feet up. This Friday, which is actually the second Friday, but last Friday my kids were off school, so we weren't hosting anything. But this Friday we have the live rosary. It's free to join. I will send out replays to whoever registers, whether you attend or not. If you've never attended one of the rosaries or you're rosary curious, send me an email and I will give you the link to the portal that has all of our past rosaries and some guidelines on how to pray it yourself as well, so you can get comfortable before you actually jump in. That's this Friday. Next Tuesday in the evening, I'm hosting Mothercraft, which is a new workshop dedicated to the spiritual care and keeping of our children. This is for anybody who identifies as a caregiver of kids, parent, mom, babysitter, sibling, aunt, uncle, godparent, whatever. You are welcome to join. If you cannot attend live, replays will be sent out to everyone who registers. If it's $22 to attend, $22. If for whatever reason that doesn't work for you, but reason you can't swing that, but you'd like to come, send me an email and I will give you either a discount code for 50% off, 100% off, whatever it is that you need. Just come on down. You're welcome to join. Tarot Lab Level 1, which is my introduction to tarot, is reopening on October 1st. Registration is open now, actually, but class starts October 1st. Registration ends at the end of September. I've decided to keep Tarot Lab Level 1 at the lower early registration rate of $400. There are payment plans available. There are plenty of scholarships available. I just sent out a few more last night, so let me know what you need if you're interested, and I'll help you make it happen. And finally, Tarot Lab Level 2 begins in the spring, but applications are open now. This is for folks who desire to read professionally but don't know where to begin, or if you've already started reading professionally but you desire a little bit of structure in your practice so that you can feel more confident and prepared as a facilitator of ethical psychic services. I'm really, really fucking excited about this class. It's been a few years in the works. I was really hoping to launch it this year, but the timing just wasn't right. I'm excited to launch it next year. It's going to be a really fun time. Lots of labs. We're going to be doing lots of readings together. And we're really going to focus on defining our ethics of practice, cultivating psychic and spiritual boundaries, how to connect with our clients psychically and spiritually, how to close those connections once the reading is done, how to set boundaries with our clients, in addition to the different types of readings like live and gallery readings like this, special events and parties. And in that one, I'm really excited to talk to you because I've done so many pop-ups, so many corporate events, so many birthday parties, and I've done all the things wrong so that I could learn how to do it right and learn how to set really important boundaries for myself and put protections into place for myself as a tarot reader. And I'm really looking forward to sharing all that I've learned through that experience with the class, because I think that tarot readers tend to get taken advantage of. People don't always take us seriously. And so what I am sharing with you are the practices that I have cultivated that have enabled me to be taken more seriously and get paid what I deserve to get paid for events, and also have people understand that, like, this isn't just, it's a serious job, and we deserve to be treated well when we're working for folks in those types of situations. We also go over private readings for one-on-one clients, couples readings, and why I don't do them anymore. I only do couples readings for one couple. They're the only exception. General and predictive, career and life path, relationship and love, tarot for scheduling and planning. Then we also have some really great workshops for defining our offerings, and that will include a trance journey and some group reading together. So I'm super excited to share that with you. We'll have a classmate reading exchange so everybody can continue to practice their skills and get better and better together. So that's what's happening in the Spirit Garden. I see that a few folks have sent in their donations. Today I'm going to begin with Yvonne. Let's get started. Yvonne wants a general check-in with their spirits. This is the deck. Yes. Should I keep shuffling? Yes. Okay. That's it. Cut the deck? Yes. Okay. is exciting. So for you today, I've pulled the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. And immediately they're telling me there's something you've been mulling over for some time. A project that you've been slowly whittling away. A project that you've been slowly whittling away at. Now is the time. Now is the time to take greater actions. To take greater actions into creating this. Into realizing this particular goal. This particular goal. This particular desire. This particular desire. Maybe something about this is collaborative. I'm not sure if this is a personal partnership. It feels like it. Even though I haven't pulled any cups, it definitely seems like this is related to some sort of personal connection. And that doesn't mean that a personal connection can't be business related or can't be creatively related, but it definitely feels like the connection between you and this other party is very personal. They're showing me braids around the heartstrings, and they're pink, and I definitely see you two braided together. It feels like we need to start communicating our feelings better. They're saying we need to start communicating our needs a little bit better. We need to start telling how we feel with certainty, without fear. It's, oh shit, okay. There's some stuff that you've been wanting to say. And it's almost like you've been keeping a log of things that are like irking you, or just haven't been what you expected, or just rubbed you the wrong way, and like varying degrees, from rubbed you the wrong way to made you feel hurt, actually hurt. And Spirit's like, now's the time to start communicating. Now's the time to start communicating these things with the person that it is relevant to, especially if you want to keep the relationship healthy. I think that the Queen of Swords gets kind of a bad rap, and when you look at a lot of older tarot texts, they're like, the Queen of Swords is a bitch, the Queen of Swords is rude, but the Queen of Swords to me is just direct. The Queen of Swords takes a deep breath, takes their emotions, looks at them, and says, okay, here's the information my feelings are telling me. This is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm understanding, this is what I'm experiencing, and I want to give this to you so that you can hear me and understand me as well. Is this clear to you? It means a lot to me that this is clear and understood by you. Spirit's like, you don't need to add fluff words. You don't need to add potpourri and flowers around it to make it more palatable. Whatever it is that you have to say, just say it. And yeah, I mean, sometimes when women and femmes communicate directly, people take that as like cold or abrasive, but that's not the truth of the matter. That's their own internalized misogyny. So you do your part by saying what you mean, and say it with that warmth that you naturally have. And you're saying it because you care. You're saying it because you care enough about this connection that you need to tell these things truthfully before they become resentments. Because I think if the Queen of Swords had come through reverse, then maybe we'd be communicating more resentments. But it feels like Spirit's trying to help you get it out before we get to that point. Yes. Okay. Anything else? What do you want me to say? They want you to rub something on your hands before you have this conversation. They're making a few different recommendations. Basil, chamomile, or rose. Whatever you have access to. If you have some chamomile in the cabinet, cool. Like whatever you can grab that. And whether it is dry or fresh, I really love crushing fresh basil in my hand. You're going to rub it in your hands a bit and like smell it. Really take a big deep breath of that plant in through your nose, out through your mouth. Maybe take a couple breaths and let the oils of the plant really like seep out into the warmth of your hands. This is going to help. They said this is going to help you. They're also showing you like massaging behind your ears a little bit. They're saying that this is helpful for you with like self-regulating. So maybe if it's some difficult stuff that you're trying to communicate, rubbing behind your ears, putting like a fair amount of pressure on that area behind your ears can be really helpful. They're also talking about like earaches. And they said a good saline flush will be helpful. I mean, I don't know anything about ears, so like don't take my word for it, but that's what they said. Yes, okay. That's it. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you, Yvonne. Let's see who's next. Lauren. Okay, general reading on what's next. You got it. That's it? Yes. Okay, so are we reading reversals? No, are you sure? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Yes, you're sure, or yes, we're reading reversals? No reversals. Got it. Okay, cool. So for you, I pulled 3 cards, Lauren, and we're looking at what's ahead, what to think about it, what to do about it, and what to do about it. And what's ahead, I pulled the King of Pentacles. They're telling me this is a personal connection. This is someone who is coming into your life. Who's going to be familiar to you in a strange way. Like you've met them before. You've dreamed of them, perhaps. They're talking about how you'll feel connected from the stomach. It feels like that's where the pull comes from. When I look at what to think, I pulled the Ace of Wands. They're saying it's worth pursuing the fire in both of your bellies. Oh, yes. They said there's something here that is worth exploring. They're saying there's a part of yourself that will be revealed to you through this connection. They said, do not fear this strange beginning, but allow yourself to indulge in it instead. When I look at what to do, I pulled the 6 of Cups. And I hear over and over again, like this connection is pure. There's no like secret, malicious intentions. They said be honest with one another. From the beginning of the connection until the end. When I tried prying further and seeing like, what do you mean by end? And they're like, no, we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about the beginning. We're talking about the beginning. They said, allow yourself to have fun exploring this connection. And speak the truth about your feelings candidly from the start.
They said there's nothing else they can reveal about this now. They said enjoy. Yes. Next one. Okay. Ooh. Keep me posted. Okay, let's see who's next. And if for any reason I cannot get to your reading today, I will refund your Venmo today. It'll happen today because I'm just realizing a lot of people are coming through, and today is early pickup for my kids. Okay, so Lauren, we got you. I'm excited for you. Maria, you're next. Okay. Open to any guidance from the ancestors, guides, my guides. Ava's here. Ooh, Ava's here. She wants to talk to you. She wants to talk to you. What are we saying? That's it. That's it. Okay. So for you, I pulled the High Priestess, Judgment, the Nine of Swords, and then when I flipped over the bottom of the deck, I pulled the Page of Cups. Hi, Laura. I'm going to take a deep breath. There are two new guides. They're not new, but there are two guides with you now who desire to make themselves known. They're both connected to your, they said, abilities of perception, psychic perception, pattern recognition. The types of spirits that will assist you in reading people without cards. And it feels like they want to help you with your daily life, like your daily interactions. It feels like you're coming into a season of making more connections with people. And these spirits are really here to help you fine-tune your discernment when it comes to who can I trust? Who isn't full of shit? And they're also saying, like, look, sometimes the people that are full of shit are worth shaking hands with because they sit in important rooms with other people that you want to be in greater communion with. We're going to keep it honest with you. And help you to notice the parts of your body that are activated when you meet different people. It means different things. And it means different things. Do you want to give me your names? Yes. Yes. Okay, so the spirit that came through as the High Priestess calls herself Griselda. Yes. Yes. And, like, she's, like, very fucking psychic. Like, very, very psychic. Like, I feel my brain, like, struggling with, like, containing the gravity of just how much she sees. And when I said sees, I could see this big eye in the middle of her forehead, like wobbling, kind of like Mad Eye Moody vibes, like blub, 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 blub. Yes, yes. And over here, justice. Judgment, excuse me. It's a Jekyll. They are a Jekyll, excuse me. Yes. Big. Huge. They're a guardian spirit. Oh, this makes sense. Like, with this great ability, you'll also need to have greater protection. So you have Griselda to help you see, and the Jekyll to help you feel confident acting upon what you see, knowing that you are protected. Yes, yes. They want you to do things to practice your psychic gifts, exercises. There's a really simple playing card exercise that I contributed to an article by Stephanie Campos on astrology.com, and it's actually linked in my bio. If you swipe, you'll find the astrology.com link. But that's a really easy, simple psychic exercise that you can do. But honestly, you can Google psychic exercises and just start playing around with what feels good and right for you. They're also talking about like earth grounding meditations being very helpful, because if you're spending a lot of time like up here in the others, you're going to need that. They also want to talk about the importance of your dreams. Pay attention to them. And it would be helpful to shift like the bulk of your energy around your spiritual practice to like your sleep hygiene. Cleansing yourself before you go to bed. Making sure your nightstand is nice and clear. Maybe leaving like a selenite wand or a fresh sprig of basil or a white flower by your bed. Some caraway seeds underneath. Keep it nice and clear and fresh in your bedroom. Spritz the sheets with Florida water. It seems to be important that you keep the energy around your sleep clear. I think that you are seeing some big things and experiencing some big things while you dream. Yes. They said be sure to call in the Jekyll before you go off to sleep to watch over you. Yes. Okay. Who's next? That was a fun one. All right, Nick and Alice, you're next. You're welcome, Maria. That was fun. Hi, Nicole. Okay, Nick and Alice, tired of being happy, unhappy, deep down inside, even though the outside of me is always happy and giving. Will it ever balance out? To decide that it is. Well, do they want me to pull cards, or do y'all just want to talk? We just want to talk. Okay. Okay. My guide Felicita is coming through for you. In her accent, she's like, Nick and Alice. My dear, you have to decide what your boundaries are. How much is too much? How much is too much? And you must be the enforcer of these boundaries. We cannot expect the world or the people who surround us to know when they are taking too much. As tempting as it is to believe that even the closest to us should. We must find the sword in our throat and wield it. Like the Page of Swords, wobbly at first, bold enough to know that they are worthy of speaking their truth, speaking their mind, paving their way. They are worthy of saying no when they need to say no, saying yes when they know it's a yes. And I think, and they're also talking about that's funny that your stuff is coming up again. So Felicita's pointing out that there's some like stuff hanging out behind your right ear. It's like a little black orb. It's kind of like the weight of all of the times you've held your tongue. The weight of all of the times where you wanted to speak up for yourself but couldn't do it. Take a big deep breath, Nick and Alice. And Felicita is going to remove it. I can see after she pulled the orb out that there's like threads of it going in around your ear. And she's pulling them all out, these roots. Good. She wipes her hands. She grabs blue light and puts it in that spot. And it starts to fill in all of the areas where the roots were taking up space. She said some unkind things were said in this ear. And that's where it all began. Where you learned how to hold your tongue. She grabs some white light. She seals the space. And she seals the space. And stitches it shut. She takes what she pulled, sticks it in the stove to burn. I see her cleansing your head, clearing away some cobwebs, some clouds, a few thunderstorms, and really like some of the stuff that's hanging out in these things is important. So I see her like clearing some things away, mostly like dusting and reorganizing and putting it back so that you're able to reach for these words, these ideas, and actually use them. She takes the ash of what she pulled out of you and sticks it in the river, washes her hands. And she says, use your voice. Use it. It gets easier each time. It gets easier each time. She promises. Okay. Let's see who's next. Casey. I'm gonna mark it here to keep track. All right, any advice for my guides for your upcoming move? What should you be looking for? You're welcome, Jenny. What should I be looking for in an apartment hunt? Also, Jenny, just like drink lots of water. Drink lots of water today. Amalia's here to help Casey. Okay, is this the right deck? It's not your favorite. Which one do you want? The heart one. Are you sure? This one, yeah. That's what I figured. Okay. Switching. Ooh, that's it? Yes. I think they're going to have you do some magic. They said, oh my god, that's so funny. I knew this card was going to come up. So the first card I pulled is the Athame for power, and it's got a big rose, a broom for clearing, and a sigil for ancestral aid. Let's begin with the clearing. They're talking about this Friday if possible. It would be excellent for you to give yourself a good limpia, whether it's a spiritual bath or you're grabbing like a wee broom and doing your whole body. Maybe you're doing it with fresh herbs, but it feels very, very important that you give yourself a good deep clearing, a good deep cleansing. It feels like they're like, look, you've had a beautiful trip. But there are some things that can attach to you through the process of travel, and it's not really about doing anything like wrong or not being diligent enough or vigilant enough. It just happens the same way sometimes we catch a cold on the airplane and it fucking sucks. But I've been wearing a mask on the airplane since like 2010, so it doesn't happen to me, lol. But anyway, it just happens sometimes when we move through certain spaces, liminal spaces, and they want the energy that you are using to pour into this intention, this desire to find housing, to be just yours. It feels like there's a little something over here whispering, and they're kind of orange and very cute, but not yours. Very opinionated, not yours. So they want to make sure that you're cleansing your head really well. Maybe some selenite would be helpful. Spray some Florida water or whatever you use. Give your body a good salt bath or cleanse, cold shower cleanse. Say some prayers as you're doing it of just like releasing any entities or energies that do not belong to you, calling in your good spirits of the water, asking them to purify, consecrate, and protect you. Then the next step is getting really clear on what you need. And they want you to do the Virgo thing they said, and write a list. And they want you to write the full list. Like, don't edit yourself. They might not be able to hit every single item on the list when it comes to the place you end up moving into, at least for this next spot, right? Because there's going to be a spot after that, probably. But for this next spot, make sure to spare no details. Like, how much sunlight do you want to have? Do you want there to be French doors? Do you want to be close to the water? If so, what kind of water? Is it going to be a lake, a river, an ocean? How much money do you want to spend every month? How many bedrooms? Do you want carpet or do you want hard floors? All the little details. Spare none of them. Think about neighborhoods that you want to be in. Make sure to list a few different neighborhoods they're saying. Give them a nice, juicy, big list to work from. How do you want me to say that? Okay. When you start getting inklings that you know the general area that you want to be in, they want you to start leaving offerings for the trees there. Preferably a rose, but a pinch of loose tobacco will do. And pour a little water out as well. And let the tree know, I would really like to be your neighbor. What do you want me to look at? This one. The sigil for the ancestors. After you've finished cleansing and you've written your list, they said take the list and ask your good ancestors to assist you in finding the place on this good earth. First, they called the good earth one of our first ancestors. Ask your ancestors to assist you in carrying out this desire in finding the place for you. Again, like, it feels like this is somewhere you're going to live for like a year, maybe 2 years max. So they don't want you to be too disappointed if it doesn't check every single box. It just needs to check enough of them and help you feel like safe, comfortable, good. They're talking about making sure it has parking too. That's an important one. That's an important one. They said once that you move in, they want you to immediately make sure to put up your ancestral altar and give offerings of thanks to them, because they'll help you find the next one too. Because they'll help you find the next one too. And I keep saying hearts, like, we love you. We're going to figure this out together. Don't forget to include us. They said, don't forget to include us. That's it. Okay. That's it. Some practical magic for you. I love when the assignment is make a list. Okay, let's see who's next. Okay, we did Casey. All right, Melissa, you're up next. General reading for me in my career / life. Let's do life. They said, let's do life. Okay, so this is not career specific. This is about life. Hannah, you're here. Hi, Hannah. I miss you. I was just looking at a picture of your baby. Okay. Let's see. Melissa. All right, Melissa, we're going to look at what's ahead in the next 6 to 8 weeks or months. Weeks or months. Weeks. Okay, something that's coming up in the next 6 to 8 weeks. What to lean into, what to lean out of. Yes, yes. Okay. Is this the right deck? Yes, yes. That's it? Yes, yes. Okay. If you say so. What's ahead? Lean in, lean out. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Are you reading reversals? No. Okay. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. So when I look at what's ahead in the next 6 to 8 weeks, I pulled the Six of Swords the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is one of my favorite cards of the deck because it's that feeling of finally being recognized for the shit you actually love, for the stuff you actually care about, for the things that like you desire to pour yourself into. It's the people who matter noticing and saying like, hey, you're really good at that. And it feels like you are stepping into this moment of feeling sincerely appreciated and excited for the things that you're being appreciated for. This definitely feels very like pleasure-centric, which is good. And like, I think it's important to say that pleasure is not always specific to sexuality or sensuality. Pleasure can happen in so many different ways. And when we tell the spirits that we desire to be open to pleasure, to learn from pleasure, to live through pleasure, we start to discover all of the little ways existence really can be pleasurable, from the taste of a fruit to a chilled glass of water to watching birds flying above you. Like, there's so many different ways we can experience pleasure in this lifetime. And it feels like you are really stepping into this like, oh, this is what it feels like. This is what feels good to me. This is what's exciting to me. This is what I'm interested in. And it's being well received by those who desire to share these experiences with. When I look at what the spirits are encouraging you to lean into, I pulled the Devil. And I personally love this card. This is about exploring the shadows. And when I say shadows, I don't necessarily mean what's commonly referred to as like shadow work. That's not really a term that I use in my practice. But the shadows for me are like our own underworld, the things that perhaps we are too afraid or ashamed to share, things that we may be too afraid or ashamed to indulge in, to participate in, to practice. And the devil invites us, especially during this time of year, as the sunlight grows shorter and the nights grow longer, to explore these parts of ourselves that otherwise remain unseen. That's really like the joy, the pleasure, if you will, of this time of year, the season of the night, is that we get to celebrate these sides of ourselves that don't feel like proper enough or acceptable enough in our day-to-day life. We really get to indulge in these parts of ourselves and explore and expand upon them, and also see that like parts of these things that we may hide in the shadow really can be in the light. Persephone is definitely reaching out to you as an archetype and a spiritual guide and teacher. And like Persephone really is an embodiment of this energy of being both of the light and the dark, of being of the spring and the dead. That's the magic that seems to be calling out to you now. When I look at what they want you to pull back from, I pulled the Two of Pentacles, and this is less about balance and more about second guessing yourself. This is more about like, is this okay? Is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I wear this lipstick? Is it okay if I try this outfit? Is it okay if I do this thing, say yes to this invitation? Because I think there's like a voice back here who's always telling you no. Don't do that. Don't touch that. Don't put that in your mouth. Like, don't. And Persephone and this like underworld energy are like, let us be the voice, right? Let us be the voice. I do think it's important to remember that when we are exploring the bounty of pleasure that the devil has to offer us, that the devil's not going to tell us when enough is enough, right? The devil's not going to tell us it's time to tap out, because that's not his job. His job is to invite you to indulge. So staying grounded, staying hydrated is very important. In between engaging with the underworld, make sure that you are doing exercises that ground you to Mother Earth, to the present, so that we don't forget about, the stuff that we are responsible for in our daily lives. How do you want me to say that? They also want me to remind you that like grounding into earth doesn't always have to be like a meditation, a visualization. It can literally be watering your plants and sticking your hands in the soil, repotting one of your house plants, sitting in the grass, going to the park, hugging a tree. These are all ways to connect with earth in between your explorations of the shadows. So have fun. Okay, let me mark that so I know I got to you. Let's see who's next. Baby Reckless. It's been a bumpy week. Is this the right deck? No. Okay. The black one. Yeah, this is the one we used for you last time too. Two cards, yes. What to take in? Is this important? No. Okay. What to take in and what to release. Yes. They want me to remind you to breathe. Is that it? Yes. Okay. Cut it? Yes. Okay. Ooh, it's getting warm in here. Okay. What they want you... This is a fun one. What they want you to take in... The twin. do you want me to say that? They're talking about a spirit who holds the other side of your heart. They're showing you in the center. Show that to me again, please. This is an old spirit who's here for you. Another underworld queen. They say you already know who they are. And that they are the one who holds the other side of your heart. They desire to give more of themselves unto you. To pour into you, to pour into you. I'm seeing goblets. They're saying of blood, but it could be wine, juice, imbibement through ritual. They said it doesn't need to be long or overly planned, but that you need time together, and that the drinking of the libation is important in order for them to give you what it is they have for you. Turn over here. Okay. When I'm looking at release, I have pink bubble fairy. I have no idea. What is this? They're saying there's a face spirit who's been bothering you. And this like ancient queen spirit would like to eat them. They said to put a symbol for this fae at their altar. And they will sniff it out like a hound of hell. Consume it and consume it. This particular fae's been playing tricks on you. Your mother does not like it. Your mother does not like it. They want me to send a photo of this card specifically to you. So if I don't remember to do it, you can remind me. I hear them saying like naughty, naughty. Mixing things up, stirring pots. That's enough. I think the like libation must go with their snack. Yes, 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 yes. I also feel like through this experience of the goblets and drinking together, I don't know, I think you're going to learn something or see something. There's something kind of oracular about this ceremony. I see like again, another eyeball right here, kind of like from earlier. But this one isn't like swirling around looking in all directions. This one looks firmly ahead. gonna drink some water. Those Faye. Oh, that's weird. On the bottom of the deck, there's the all-knower, and it's eyes, and a crystal ball, and the underworld. So, there you have it. Okay, let's see who's next. All right. Andrea, let me see if I can find your question. I don't see it. Okay. Sam, still Luna. Let's see. Neil. Where are you at, Neil? All right, I'm going to do another Moon Shadows, but I just want to let you know, if you sent me a Venmo, please drop your question in the little questions box down on the lower right-hand side of the screen. There you are. Hi, Andrea. If you sent me a Venmo, please drop your questions in the box because it's way easier for me to keep track this way. If you leave me the question in the comments, I might not find it because it's hard for my brain to keep track of that. Okay. So let's see. Solemn Baby. Are you just looking for a general? Andrea? General love. General or love life? Which one? General love check-in. Okay, so a love check-in. You got it. Is this the right deck? No. Okay, which one would you like to use? This one? Yeah, okay. They're going to have you do some magic, Andrea. Neil, I'll get to yours next. I saw you. Okay, let's see. 2 cards, you got it. That's it. Do I cut it? Yes. So immediately before I even start reading into the cards that I pulled, Andrea, I feel, I'm just going to put this here. I feel a need for a cord cutting, maybe even a cord uprooting, something that's been really on my mind when it comes to cord cutting is like, what happens to the cords once we snip them? Are they just dangling from us, like waiting to reattach to that person or to attach to somebody else? Do they just hang there? Like, what happens? And it's been leaving me really unsatisfied, but something that has been more satisfying for me lately is, instead of a snip, more like a plucking out of these cords, removing them from the spaces in our body where they are attached. When we pull them out at the root, then it's less likely that they find themselves winding back together again. And it feel like, as I was shuffling, as soon as I saw your name, like I immediately was being told, like, this is something that's important for you. It definitely feels like the connections rest in your gut, in your tummy, just below your rib cage, that part of your belly that like gets activated when we're stressed. Like, that's where these cords are hanging out, these connections. I encourage you, maybe that's something I need to write, like how to do a cord removal, a plucking instead of a cord cutting. But I encourage you to take some time in the shower or in the bath. And if you're going to do it in the shower, try a cool or cold shower. If you're doing it in the tub, do some Epsom salt. And really that's all you need, Epsom salts. And I want you to get in there and take some deep breaths. Let your body relax and call in your good spirits of the water, the healing waters, and ask them to assist you in the removal of these cords from your vessel. And then I want you to take deep breaths, deep breath in and pluck it out, deep breath out. Kind of like when you get your ears pierced, how you have to breathe in and then they push the needle through and you have to exhale. That's the vibe I want you to use as you're pulling these cords out from your tummy. It feels like there's seven or eight that are hanging out there, and I don't know that they're all connected to the same person or not. It definitely feels like there are a few different lifetimes that we're dealing with here. So you might need to like really use your strength to pull them out. Once you've finished pulling them out, I want you to visualize white light. Yes, white light in your hands, like 2 little orbs of white light in your hands, and you're going to press that into your tummy and imagine it filling all of these now empty spaces from where you've uprooted these cords from yourself. You're gonna let it fill in. And then the last thing that I like to do is to sew those spots shut with the light inside. Visualize yourself sewing them, and then put your hands over it, and the flush goes back to as it was. What else do they want me to say? The next thing I see here is a spell a sigil for forgiveness. But really they're saying it's more about a spell for forgiveness. And I don't think this is something that you're giving to someone. This is something for you. They want you to either write a letter, or maybe draw a picture, but you're going to spend some time expressing the grievances that you've been holding on to, whether it's towards yourself or towards another. And maybe this letter is going to be to a few different people. I don't know, but you need to get it out. You need to get it out because right now it's all sitting like on your chest. So you have these cords in your belly and you have all of these grievances and grief sitting right here on your chest. And that's like that's a big weight to carry, my dear. It's a big weight to carry right on top of your heart, right on top of your lungs. And so you're going to pour all of this out, let it come out of you onto the page. I recommend burning it. They said burning it when you are done. Burning it when you are done. As you're writing the letter, have a candle lit, have a little glass or bowl of water out. Really invite in your good guides to be a part of this and to help gently guide you through it. You're probably going to cry while you're doing that, but it's good. It's good to cry because crying is part of the release process. Crying is part of the healing process, the cleansing process. So don't stop yourself from crying. In fact, I feel like you have a little bit of a backlog of tears that, we put on the brave face and we hold it in and don't let it out. And like those tears are still there waiting to come out. So allow yourself this time to just be really vulnerable and ugly cry if you need to, and have a snotty nose and be angry and yell if you need to, and just get it all out on the page and light it on fire. Make sure you have something fire safe to do this in, whether it's a ceramic baking dish, maybe you have a pot that you use for all of your spiritual stuff. But let's be good about fire safety. I feel like that was a PBS Kids song. What else do they want me to say? Once you have completed those rituals of releasing the cords and releasing the tears, the grief, the grievances, The next thing they want to encourage you to do is to do a candle for vitality. This is really about restoring yourself because crying takes a lot of energy, and also the cord removal takes a lot of fucking energy. These spiritual healing practices, even though the bulk of it is happening in our imagination, takes real physical energy from our bodies, takes real spiritual energy from our bodies. And so this candle for vitality is really just about practicing restorative things, making sure you're drinking enough water, making sure you're eating foods that make you feel happy and comforted and good, listening to your tummy and feeding that tummy when they're hungry instead of saying like, I don't have time for this right now. Having little snacks. It feels like your spirits really want you to eat. Like they're very much like, have some snacks around so you don't have to work that hard to make sure that you get food in your tummy. What kind of snacks do you like? It also feels like there's some reparenting through the spirits that's happening. Wow, there's a lot coming through right now. Some reparenting through the spirits that's happening specifically around food. And again, they're talking about having lots of snacks and easy to eat things available. I'm seeing like crackers and cheese, like what your shit is, what you like to eat, and just having that around and not putting pressure on yourself to have these like big meals. Because it's a lot of fucking work and dishes that get dirty. Like sometimes you just need to sit down and like eat a personal charcuterie board of like Ritz crackers and other shit that makes you feel happy and nostalgic and good. And like, is your belly full? Cool, you're good. Spirit wants you to make it easy to eat throughout the day, I think that sometimes when we get super focused on having like 3 perfect meals, we don't allow ourselves to eat in between when we're hungry, or if it's too much work to put together one of those big meals, then we just skip it and then we're just hungry in between. So Spirit wants you to make sure that like your belly is staying full all the time. And I feel them like squeezing you, hugging you, squeezing you, hugging you. There's definitely a lot of maternal spirits around you. And they're very interested in like helping you love on yourself a little bit. It feels like this is a bit of a recovery period. And, I don't know your current relationship status, but whether you're in one or not, like it doesn't really matter. Like there's some recovery that has to happen right now. And that's why it's so important that you like, once you're done with the spiritual procedures, that you make sure that you are nourishing and nursing yourself back to health. Did we do that right? Yes, that's it. Okay, cool. Bottom of the deck, they also want me to remind you, oh my god, that's so funny, a spell for ending, and also that you are whole. You are whole exactly as you are, okay? Can I put this one away? Yes, okay. 11, 12, we're still good, okay. Welcome. Okay, let's see who's next. I said Neil, and then I'll get to some Moon Shadows members. And just a reminder, if you sent a Venmo, please drop your question in the little question box on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. It looks like a thought bubble with a question mark in it. Because I honestly can't keep track of these comments. Let me find some Moon Shadows people. Savina. Okay, guidance around friendships. Feeling sad. Am I being too sensitive or correctly reading things? How can I usher in meaningful connections? Okay, they want to talk about this. What are we using? This one. Okay. Just keep switching the decks around. I wish I could leave them out of the box, but if I do that, then they'll stay out of the box forever, and then out of the box. Is this card important? It's funny that I was singing the theme song from Out of the Box and the childhood card flew out. I loved Out of the Box. Okay, so for Safina, are we reading the situation correctly? Yes. Yes. They're like, you are sensitive, but that's why you are able to read the situation correctly. And I think they want to kind of shift our idea around what being sensitive means. It's not a negative thing. In fact, it is a part of your spiritual and psychic gifts that you are so sensitive, that you are able to see things clearly. I sense a little bit of neurodivergence, and I feel like it's hard to make friends. Anyway, as an adult, and when you're neurodivergent and your like communication is just not the same as like the normies, it gets extra hard because I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm just really excited about what you're saying and I want to say something that relates it back, but I digress. The spirits want to affirm that, like, yes, you are sensitive, but you're not too sensitive. You are reading the situation correctly. When it comes to inviting more, like, meaningful connections into your life, we'll pull a card. That's it. Do you want me to just flip it or cut it? Flip it or cut it? Cut it. Okay. I love this deck. So the first card we pulled is healing, and they're talking about some heartache that needs to be soothed, some heartache that needs to be nursed and tended to. I'm seeing, they're asking you to take a deep breath, Safina. Felicita's here. And she's grabbing blue light in her hand. And she's putting it into your chest. There really is like a little crack in your heart, my dear. A little crack. And what's interesting is that this light isn't pushing the pieces back together. It's like creating a new piece so that where this crack is, it's no longer broken, right? But your heart's also, oh, it's gonna make me cry. Your heart's also bigger. She's waiting for the pieces to all sort of fix together. Good. And she's grabbing pink light and setting it inside of your heart. She's grabbing this kind of goldish white light and encapsulating your heart in it. She said this is a strengthening aura. She says it helps us to manage rejection sensitivities. Yes. And she's talking about how, like, she's like, part of the process of finding meaningful connections is also running into the wrong ones. And she's talking about how this orb of gold light around your heart kind of just like helps you to push through it. When you realize someone's not the right person for you, in whatever way that you're trying to connect with them, this protection over your heart helps you be like, okay, that's fine, someone else. Instead of feeling like totally broken over it. And I think it's also going to help us to recognize those signs sooner sooner so that we are able to adjust our expectations and our interactions accordingly. Because, you know, you might find that somebody is not the right alignment for you to have a deeper, more meaningful relationship with, but maybe it is somebody that you want to keep in your life for whatever reason. Your colleagues, you run in same circles, you want to keep things nice and polite if you want to. And Spirit's like this protective layer around your heart helps you to navigate through these situations. They're also talking about your throat. And this is so funny. This is, again, this imagery of like the sword in the throat is coming up. And the second card I pulled for you is communication. And she says that she's sharpening the blade in your throat so that you feel brave enough to talk to the people that you find yourself drawn to, that you desire to make connection with. And it feels like you're not always going to be able to explain why you want to talk to someone. And that's okay. Like, this sharpening of the blade is giving you the like guts to be able to go do it, to say like, hi, I'm Safina. This is kind of reminding me of my husband is really good at making friends, and he's the reason my kids are so good at making friends, because he taught them when they were really young to like go up to someone. If you see someone that's exciting to you, say, hi, my name is Hunter. I'm 5 years old. What's your name? What's your favorite color? And to start like engaging and asking questions about them instead of just talking about themselves. And I was like, oh my God, no one ever taught me that. And what's funny is that my kids try to do this to me. When like I see somebody who's interesting, another parent, they're like, go say hi, I'm Caitlin. How old are you? And it feels like this sharpening of the blade in your throat is going to help you like be the icebreaker, because it's scary, it's vulnerable, especially when you're an adult. Like, it's a bigger fall when you're an adult, but like, you've got this. And it feels like there are certainly connections to be made, because the next two cards that I pulled for you are fire and abundance. So, you know, pay attention to that feeling in your tummy, that wand, ace of wands that is inside of you and like makes you gravitate towards people, whether it's in real life or on the internet. Pay attention, because that's really your like guiding light into making those meaningful connections that you desire. And this card is like, this abundance card is reminding us that like when we find one person who we really click with, like suddenly the other people start to show up too. And that really is true. When we find the one person we really click with, all of a sudden we find that other people start showing up in our world, in our life. There's someone in my backyard right now. What's going on? Landlord things. What the fuck is going on out there? Anyway. Oh, you know what's funny is that beneath this card is also the childhood card that fell out earlier. So maybe there are some connections from way back that it's not that. Oh, feels like some disappointments from the way back. That kind of cloud our faith in ourselves to make friends with others. They're recommending like a little bath with the intention to like clear away whatever that was. Those moments of feeling rejected by other kids. Sometimes kids fucking suck. It's because their parents usually suck, and like that's not on you. So rinsing away, cleansing away those moments of feeling like you weren't good enough for the other kids, I think will be really helpful too. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna just look outside my window for a second, because there's like a giant yellow, I don't know if it's a rope, it's a cord, is someone back there? Be right back. You're witnessing the weirdness of having a landlord in real time.
Hello?
Hi.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm gonna be working right now, okay? I'm just putting the cable.
Okay, cool. Thank you. spectrum. It's just spectrum, but a notification would be nice, right? Okay, let's see who's next. Let's see. We did this one. We did this. Oops, I went too far. Goddess King. Okay. Sorry guys, thank you for your patience. That kind of threw me off. Got it. Jessie. Okay. So what your guides would like you to focus on the last part of the year. What deck are we using? Take a sip of water. Okay. I'm a little dysregulated. This deck again. Okay. By the way, if anyone's interested in this deck, look how gorgeous that is. It's called Passages Oracle. It's by Iha Kekura. And I got this when she did her Kickstarter, but it's an amazing deck and I love it. So, and like, look at that. Oh, magic. Okay. How do we want to do this? Okay, I'm pulling 3 cards for you, Jessie. We're looking at what the spirits are encouraging you to lean into, what they are encouraging you to step away from, and finally a message, and like a final message from spirit to tie it all together. Yes, yes. That's it. Okay. Lean in, step back, step in, step back, message. Ooh, hiccups. Ooh. 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 I like this a lot. So, I think it's really interesting, first of all, that in this super colorful deck, the 3 cards that I pulled for you are all simply black and white. And that has to mean something. But let's dig into what the spirits would like you to step into. I pulled this card, which is called Secrets, but they're less interested in... Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are interested in secrets. Oh, I knew it. This is about ancestral secrets. Yes, yes. Your spirits want you to spend some time digging into your ancestry. They want you to spend some, whether it is building that ancestral altar or cleaning it up, getting it prepared for the season of the spirits, which starts, 2 weeks ago, really, 3 weeks ago even. But now is the time to begin to consciously engage with your ancestral spirits. It's a really good time to begin doing ancestral elevations for you, especially for those spirits who are in need of those elevations. And it feels like there is a grandfather on your paternal line who specifically is in need of elevation, well, is like ready for it. A grandfather on your paternal line who's ready for it. And like, this person's very repentant. He's reached a point in the afterlife where he's taking a lot of accountability for his behavior while living. He understands that he caused a lot of pain. He made poor choices. He's also lots of weeping. He's been doing a lot of like reflection on how he became the man that he was, the man who his children knew, the man who his partner knew. It feels like there's some possibly like alcoholism, substance abuse, gambling, like somewhere in there it started happening, but like stuff like that doesn't come from nowhere. And he's had a lot of time in this like gray space, this in between the life and the ancestral plane, if you will, to really like come to terms with that, to come to terms with the parents he had and the childhood that he experienced that led him to become the man that he was. And he really is just like in a place of also forgiving his parents. He hated them for a long time, hated them. And I think that anger like really just kind of like fucked him up. I also think there's some like repressed queerness that he experienced. The expectations of cis heteronormative society, like it just, so many things led him to become a not nice dad. So many things. And he's at a point where like he doesn't have any need to like excuse his own behavior. He's very much accountable for it. He's very much in a place of forgiving his parents for like not knowing how to do better. He cries a lot, but he's like proud of himself for crying because I think that's something that he didn't allow himself to do while he was living. He's like, but I'm ready to be done. Like he's ready to move on. He's ready to ascend. So I would definitely do an ancestral elevation for him. And if you need instructions on how to do that, send me an email and I can send you the instructions. Over here, when I look at what to release, I pulled time. And what do we say? What are we saying about this? Your spirits are talking about like releasing expectations of how much we can actually accomplish within a certain amount of time. Surprising ourselves when we realize we can do. Have you ever had those moments where you like set the timer to meditate for 15 minutes and it feels like you've been gone for days, but when you get back because the timer dings, you're like, that really was only 15 minutes. And then there's also times when you're like folding the laundry and it feels like 3 fucking days, but it's only been an hour. There's definitely some sort of releasing around your relationship to time, the constraints of time, what you can accomplish or not accomplish within a certain amount of time. It might also be helpful to reach out to spirits of time in order, especially like in your sleep. I think that there's something for you and those spirits to unravel together. And then finally, portals. Speaking of sleep, like you're like very much like a dream traveler. You're very much like this very water plus air type of channeler, type of psychic, kind of like, and I mean this in the best way, kind of like wacky and like wizardy. Like there's just something really magical and like sparkle stars about like the brain that's in your head, the spirit that's inside of your vessel. And like your guides are really inviting you to lean all the way into the weirdness, like lean into the wonderful weirdness. Just do it. Just be your weird self, because like that's the best part of you. That's the most exciting and most delicious and most authentic part of you. And they really want to spend some time exploring that. And I've talked about it with other clients today, but like 'tis the season for exploring our shadows, the parts of ourselves that maybe the world, our parents, society, our teachers have told us, our bosses have told us to be ashamed of, to put that away. Spirit's like, no, like part the veil and let's get weird together. Now is the time for these types of explorations. I think visualization, guided meditation, astral projection, these types of things where you're expanding your imagination are really exciting and good for you right now. I think you can fucking go places with your brain. It's important that when you are doing these types of practices, that you have a solid grounding practice, something that you know will help you come back to your body when you're ready to return. Rooting down into the earth. And it can be like actual roots that you visualize going down into the soil. Maybe it's like a tube or a pipe that connects you to the center of the earth, a tether, a rope, something. But make sure that you're visually and imaginatively connecting yourself to the planet, to this vessel, before you start taking off into the others, because that's when we can get a little bit like I don't know, like psychic jet lag. I don't know what to call it, but you're very like magical, like twinkle, twinkle, sparkles in your mind's eye. And like, you need to explore that more. You really do, because there's something really special there for you to discover. So have fun with that for sure. Okay. Let's see. How are we on time? Still good. All right, how about another Moon Shadows question? And then I'll get to you, Neil. I just realized what your screen name is. Okay. Bria. Notes on themes coming up around land, body, sovereignty, and myth. The spirits are like, we only have poetry for you today, Bria. Okay. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. Okay. Ah. My notebook is stuck. Okay. I said to grab a pen and a piece of paper. Do you hear the ladder outside? Okay. They wrote, for Bria, with love, Amalia. Oh, Amalia's a writer. From your vessel grows the roots, and they plunge themselves into the soil. Like the trees who walk and stand tall on this earth, your roots form a part of a network. From these roots, you are able to send and receive messages from all over the planet, and the underworld, the upper worlds as well, and the upper worlds as well. For there is a tree whose branches reach up through the many levels of the heavens. The many levels of the heavens. Use your roots, your network, your connection to the soil, the mycelium, to find your way to that tree. Your roots give you access directly to the land around you. But once you find a way to connect to that tree, that is when the larger stories begin to unfold for you. This is an exercise in expanding the boundaries of your imagination. It's important that this muscle is stretched and challenged often. You will write things, create things, fantasies that will last through the ages. And they're showing me, in my parents' first house, it was like an old Los Angeles like bungalow style house in the suburbs, and there was a little back house, teeny tiny, really hot, and there were built-in bookshelves, and those bookshelves were lined, like packed with fantasy novels and sci-fi fiction, because that's what my dad was into, like dragons and elves and all this shit. And like it was amazing. It was really fun to like sit back there and just like go through all of the pages. And I'm wondering where all that is now. But I think what they're trying to tell me is that like you are in the early creation process of developing something like this, developing stories that will become legacies that are handed down, developing characters that people will see themselves in, see themselves a part of, stories that they see themselves a part of. They're like squeezing you and encouraging you, and they want you to know that you're on the right track. And they really want you to try the exercise. Like at first, your roots in the ground and seeing what the other local roots have to say, what the mycelium have to say, what the little buggies and earthworms have to say. And each time you revisit, you're going to expand your reach a little bit further and start imagining your roots connecting to lands where you've been before, places you've visited, whether it's a park or a national park or somewhere that you've been before. You're going to start connecting there. Then they want you to start connecting to places that you've never been before. So maybe it's a landmark or the sequoia trees or whatever it is. What are the places you've never been to but desire to see? Your roots are going to start stretching there. Then the next time you're going to come back and you need to find this tree, this magical tree that's roots reach down to the underworld and branches reach up to the highest realms of the heavens. Yes. They said yes. That's all. Okay. That was fun. Okay, let's see who's next. Let me check in here. Neil. Beep boop. Need more guidance as you uncover more about your Filipino roots and uncover more about what spiritual practice feels right to you. Yes. What part do we want to start with, everyone? Okay, so the first thing that they're encouraging me to do is to connect you with my friend Lonnie, who I will tag here. Lonnie, does it let me tag people? No? Let me find her IG handle. But Lonnie is a Filipino spiritual practitioner and healer. Fuck, I can't remember what. DM me and I will send you her account, because for whatever reason I can't find it right now because I need it right now. It'd be like that. But that's the first suggestion that they're handing to me immediately. Then pull some cards. Tarot. Okay, you got it. That's it. Okay. Before I get into the cards that I pulled, the next thing that they're talking about is folklore. Like the importance of mythology and folklore. And there's going to be some digging that you have to do in order to find it, but they want you to find those stories. Find those folklore, folk myths, legends. These are the types of places where we can find our ancestral spirits, where we can find our folk spirits. It feels really important that you begin the journey of discovering these things. And they want to remind you that this is not meant to be fast. The journey of discovering our ancestrally authentic spiritual practice is not something that happens overnight, and that's by it's the circumstance of colonization, A, and B, it's also like part of the treasure. It's like a treasure hunt. It is through this journey that we discover pieces of ourselves, and it can't happen all at once because there's so much information. There's so many different things, stories, spirits who are going to come to you, and they will reveal parts of who you are to you, and it would be impossible to hold all of that in your hands at once. So they want you to take a big deep breath and be patient with yourself as you go through this journey of rediscovering who you are. The next thing they want to say, they're recommending ancestral elevation for you as well. And this feels specific to diasporic spirits. So anyone who left the Philippines and came to the US and passed away. Oh, you know who else might be a great reader for you? Sarah of Shadow Femme is doing a lot of work around reclaiming their Filipino ancestry, and you two, I think, might hit it off really well, actually, because they're actually a reader, whereas Lonnie is more of like a healer. So it depends on what you need, but I have people for you. And what else are they saying? Ancestral elevation for the spirits who passed on here. And the important imagery they're showing me is like a boat and sending those spirits on a boat through the water back home. And that's something you're going to be visualizing in your mind's eye as you're practicing this elevation. And that came through for me through the Three of Swords and the Moon card. And then finally, I'm looking at the Nine of Pentacles, and they want you to know that, you are very rich in the spirits. Oh, it's gonna make me cry. You have generations and generations of ancestral spirits who are elevated, who are wise and well and ready to be of assistance to you. They show up in rows in white, and I see them all reaching out their hands towards you, and they're like, ask for us. I think it would be really helpful for you to spend some time in your imagination, spend some time with guided meditation, maybe spend some time automatic writing, but they are very much present right now, very much present. And it's the time of year where it's the easiest to connect with these particular spirits. Light a candle, put out a glass of water, and ask for your wise and well ancestors to be with you now, and just start asking questions. And what comes out of the pen might not always make sense in the moment, because we have to remember that our spirits, we're receiving it through translation, through time, space, language. So allow it to be strange at times, awkward at times, and you will put the pieces together. Sometimes the messages our ancestors give us don't make sense until we walk away from them for a little while. But your ancestors have tended to many altars, and I can see that they are ready for you to find it within yourself. to find them within yourself. They are so with you. You just need to engage with them, really. I would leave them. What is that? I don't know if it's like a fried root. Kind of looks like plantain to me. But I think they're hungry. Yes, that's what they're trying to tell me. They're hungry. If you don't have an ancestral altar up yet, like now is a great time to do it. Get that altar up, and maybe I need to do a class on that. I don't know. Get that ancestral altar up, get a glass of water on it, and the next time you're making yourself dinner, the next time you're really salivating over whatever it is you're eating, make sure you give them a little bit as well. Sit with them and eat with them. Eat at that altar. Have your meals together, and this will begin to help you feel the bond, because it's already there, but sometimes we need a way to make it more tangible and noticeable for us. Like, they're fucking ready to connect. They're ready to connect. One's coming forward, who's calling himself the Bridge, and this happens in lots of readings where an ancestor who's maybe a little bit closer as far as the generations go is able to like connect you to all of the others. The name he's giving me is Julio. So definitely he's an ancestor who passed on after conquest, right? But he's here to connect you to those who came before him as well. And like start using his name, start calling him out by name, because this also helps strengthen the relationship and strengthen your trust in the messages that you are receiving. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Julio. All right. Thank you, Neil. What's this button? All right. Let's see. Who's next? 11:51. All right, I've got time for a couple more. I never stop talking, so I don't really know how many more. Let's do another moon shadows one. Beep boop, beep boop. We already did that one. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Okay. Zoe. I recently spoke to a spirit who seemed to be a child, a little girl. Her name is Maxine Cornelia. Is she my sister or a child that I will know? Yes or no divination. Okay. What was that? All right. Is Maxine Cornelia a sister spirit to Zoe? No. Is Maxine Cornelia a child guide to Zoe? No. This is an embodiment of the spirit who's giving you that one. Oh, fuck. Okay. They're saying that this is an embodiment of the energy that's been messing with the sleep in the house. Yes. They are presenting themselves as a child to protect themselves and make them seem less, like scary. Felicita's like, do not trust her. The next time you see the spirits, and now that you have her name, by the way, it makes it a lot easier for you to banish her. Because once you have like a malevolent spirit's name, you now have control over the situation. So it's fucking excellent that they gave you their name. They want you, Felicita is encouraging you the next time you're home alone, to light a candle, pour out a glass of cold water, put some white clothes on, at least a white shirt, cover your head. It doesn't matter if it's a baseball cap or a tissue paper. When my mom was little, they used to still have to wear veils in Catholic church, and when she couldn't find a veil, her grandma would put a piece of tissue paper on her head. But basically, they want to make sure that your crown is protected, and you'll have to say, Maxine Cornelia, You must leave now. You go on your own accord. And you may go on your own accord at this moment, or I will command you to leave. The sword of Saint Michael. Ooh, with the sword of Saint Michael, you will be banished from this space. Choose your fate. And she's like, choose your fate. I do think that's interesting that Saint Michael, I hope he's not knocking over my plants. Sorry. I do think it's interesting that the sword of Saint Michael is coming up again. I definitely feel like that affirms the stuff that we talked about on Discord for sure. So if you haven't done that stuff, I would like do it and like use the spirit's name while you do it. Do they want to tell me anything else about this spirit? They're just nasty is what Felicita said. They're just nasty. Not a nice person. Still not a nice person. No repentance. Just aggression. Just aggression. She's like, get rid of it. Get rid of it. You can do this. And she wants you to know that like you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. She believes in you. And she wants you to believe in yourself. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's see who's next. I will save the live, Bria. Don't worry. I will save it. Okay, let's see who else. Sfrug. I saw that come through. There we go. Okay. Seeking guidance on how to navigate my relationships with my family, mother and mother-in-law as we plan our upcoming wedding. How can I facilitate peace, kindness, and effective communication? I'm so sorry for giggling because TBH, I still haven't figured this out. My mother-in-law almost didn't come to the wedding and we're just not friends, but maybe my spirits can help you because I have no personal anecdotes to assist you. That's it. Okay. Are we reading reversals? No. Okay. So the first card I pulled is the Seven of Wands, excuse me. What they're saying specifically with this version of the Seven of Wands is two things. One, it's okay to have firm boundaries. And in fact, it's best to establish them now, like up front now. This is not okay for me. I want you to be in our lives. I want you to be a part of our family that we are making together, our family. And I think it's important, they're saying, to differentiate between the nuclear family that is being formed through this marital union and the nuclear family your partner is, graduating from or has already graduated from, they really want you to step into your role as like the queen of the castle, really, and not be afraid to express this from a place of warmth with tenderness, for sure. But you need to say, like, this is what's going to work for me. This is what's not going to work for me. I want you to be a part of this. I want to feel like you respect my needs and I respect yours. But this is how things are going to go from now on. If you'd like to be a part of it, amazing. I will be so happy. And if that doesn't work for you, I hope that you come around. I really do, because it would mean so much to me. It would mean so much to us. The next thing they're talking about when it comes to the Seven of Wands is to not make assumptions. When we look at the Seven of Wands in the Smith-Waite deck, we have the person standing on top of the hill holding one wand, fighting off of the six wands below, but we can't actually see who's holding them. And it's kind of this moment of like, am I making this up? Is it all in my head? are these wands actually coming for me? And so it's important that you start having these conversations about like, look, this is what I feel is going on. This is what I'm observing. I would love for you to clarify for me so I'm not filling in the blanks and we can be on the same page. We can be honest with each other. We can feel like the communication is open and good. The next card I pulled is the Fool, and they're like, part of this conversation is, you know, can we start over? Can this be our fresh start together? We are about to have this beautiful fresh start together. Not even a fresh start, but like taking the next step, taking the fool's leap into like legalizing our union on paper in front of people and in front of whatever judiciary powers that be, right? Your spirits are like, look, this is a big thing for all of us, and like, I want you to feel like you're a part of this big journey. Take a chance with me. Trust me. Take a chance on trusting me to be the person that I know I am, to be the person that your child knows I am. They want you to know that like you are capable of saying the things that you need to say, but you have to say them. The next thing that they want to point out is the Five of Swords, which is likely that like the things that you say, it's very possible will be met with like, oh, like you hurt me. How could you say this, Sarah? Did you see what Sarah said to me? Did you hear that? You know, there might be some like, which is fine. Like, you are not responsible for how others receive the boundaries that you set. You are responsible for your words and your actions and how you say things, the way that you communicate things. But you're not responsible for their reactions to what you have to say. But you can't let your fear of how they're going to react stop you from saying the important things that need to be said, from setting the important boundaries that need to be set, from telling your future mother-in-law like what expectations she can realistically have of you and of your partner, quite frankly. You got to say the things. And the last card they want to show me is the Six of Swords, which is about asking for help specifically from your partner. You need your partner to be there, sitting next to you, holding your hand as you're having this conversation with your future mother-in-law. It needs to be very, very clear that you two are each other's person now. And this boundary is something that needs to be respected. It needs to be very, very clear that your partner is backing you up and you are forming a united front when you are saying the things that you need to say. Because otherwise, like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we forming a legal union if you're not going to have my back? You are the queen of the castle now. So it's important that it is clear to everyone involved that your partner has your back, even with their own mother. It's just the way it is. They're saying yes. So good luck. Godspeed. I believe in you. You got this. Enjoy the wedding. Let's see, it's 12 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can probably do 2 or 3 more. And if I'm not able to get to you today and you sent me a Venmo, after I'm done picking up the kids from school, I will return your dollars to you. Just give me a little bit of time to do the turnaround. You can do it, Sarah. I believe in you. You can do it. Silver lining astrology. Okay. Where'd it go? General reading. Okay. What are we doing? They're talking about the next 6 to 8 weeks. This seems to be the spread of the day. What to release? How do you want to do that? lean in, lean out, and then a third card, whatever comes up. That's it. Okay. Lean in, lean out, third card. Boop, beep, beep, boop. Lots of 4s. Let's talk about it. When I look at what they would like you to lean into, I pulled the 4 of Cups. And this is really... leaning into stillness. It's interesting because usually when I think of stillness, I think 4 of Swords. But for you, it's the Cups. And this is not so much about like quieting your thoughts, taking a break from overanalyzing things, as the 4 of Swords often is. This is more about like, you are very psychic. You're a very psychic person, but we're busy, and we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to intuit through things. And I don't know if this is specific to your astrology practice or if it's something else, if it's your life, your world. But Spirit really wants you to give yourself the opportunity, the time, the space to channel more, rather than to recall from memory, rather than to refer to guidance outside of yourself. Spirit really wants you to give yourself the opportunity to unlock those psychic abilities, to begin building trust in those psychic abilities. And it's really normal when we haven't been exercising those gifts regularly to feel a little bit uncomfortable, to feel a little bit mistrusting. And the only way we get to a point where we start to trust ourselves is to practice. We have to be good at something before we can be fucking great at something. And Spirit really wants to allow yourself the opportunity to like awkwardly get through these early stages of figuring out like what this channel is for you, what information comes through it, how does it come to you. It feels like you're very much claircognizant, a clear knowing, and TBH, like that's the one that's the hardest to trust. Because it's not as fantastical as having a vision or hearing voices. You just know shit. You just know shit, and you can't explain why or how. And it feels like for you it lands right here when you know things, and then your doubt lands in your tummy. So it starts with like, why do I know this? I couldn't possibly know this. And you kind of curl into yourself a little bit, and Spirit really wants you to like push those shoulders back. Push those shoulders back and let that information land and like let it rest there. Take it in. Communicate that information out loud to yourself, to your clients perhaps. Like your psychic stuff is like really tingly right now, and you need to give yourself the space to actually expand upon these gifts. Psychic exercises might be helpful for you, but really it feels more like meditation is helpful for you. And it's also important to remember that meditation isn't necessarily sitting down and quieting your mind. Meditation can be something that's guided. It can just be like chilling, listening to binaural beats or whatever the fuck. It can be dance. For me personally, like dance is how I get into trance state. A maraca is how I get into trance state. Fanning myself is how I get into trance state. Shuffling the cards and losing myself in that is how I get into that meditative trance state. So you need to discover what the key to unlocking your trance state is, and remember to like think outside the box as you search for what that key is. When I look at what we are releasing, I pulled the 4 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Pentacles, like when you think about the Smith Waite deck, it's the tiny king who's like holding on so tight, and it kind of reminds me of the body language that they showed me when your doubt sets in, that like curling into yourself. Spirit's like, nope, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Like when you feel the doubt shrinking you, choose to take up space instead. When you feel that doubt trying to shrink you, choose to take up space instead. And remember that it's going to feel awkward and uncomfortable at first. I would imagine that it's awkward and uncomfortable when we first start crawling, when we first start walking. I think it's pretty normal to feel like you're not gonna get it in those first few attempts. And then one day, all of a sudden, you're like teeter-toddling, walking across the house, or you're channeling shit that you never thought you could channel and actually trusting it as it comes through. You can do this. You just have to give yourself the space to practice. Finally, I pulled the King of Cups, who's talking about like the outward expression of these psychic abilities. It's not just for you, it's for others too. You're meant to share this. You are meant to share this. This has really been a fun theme for today. Lots of cups today. But like, there's a reason you're supposed to be growing this gift. There's a reason you're supposed to be practicing this gift. And you don't become the King of Cups overnight. None of us do. But you truly have the potential to get yourself there if, on the bottom of the deck, the Fool, you take a chance on yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to try and fail, to try and fall, and then to try again until you really start to feel confident in the things that you are doing. And TBH, like, confidence in our gifts is not a constant state of being. You know, I go through seasons where like I doubt myself right up until the moment I turn Zoom on and just start saying the opening prayers and things come through. I will be like, I'm so bad at this, I'm living a lie, and then I turn on Zoom, see a client, an hour later I'm like, I'm fucking amazing at this. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm so fucking psychic. And so like we have to release some of the pressure on ourselves to always feel really confident. It's okay if you doubt yourself in between the moments of proving yourself. It's fucking normal. Being a human's weird and complex, and that's just the way it is. And it doesn't make you less good at what you do, it just makes you a human. Let's see. 12:11. I could probably do one more. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Sorry, it's very loud outside. Maria, I got you. Okay. Maria, what's the best way to reach out to my ancestors? Missing pieces of ancestry information. You got it. There's There's one ancestor in particular who wishes to come forward. A bridge spirit for you as well. That's it. You guys hear me? Okay. So there's a bridge spirit, an ancestor who's coming through right now who desires to offer you their name. They're coming through the Queen of Pentacles. And I fucking adore the Queen of Pentacles in this deck. Look at all this corn. Look at the pyramid. Look at the snake. Like, this is just such a like comforting. The spirit who's coming through for you is very like loving, very tender, very warm. Kind of like, but also firm, you know, like they're really good at setting boundaries, teaching you the rules of life. They're not just gonna like hold you and squeeze you and then let you flail around. They're really here to like, she's like, to bring you some sense. Will you show me your name again? Xiomara. Xiomara, it looks like. Xiomara. Yes. She says to contact her and she will connect you to the rest. She's here to not only assist you in getting to know who your ancestors are, but she's also here to help you build some discipline in your spiritual practice. She's very disciplined. And she's like, and I'm very abundant because of it. She says she's here to show you the ways that discipline can set you free. How discipline can give you the freedom to do the things that you want to do, to pursue your passions and your desires. She's like, hold my hand, and we will get through this together. She wears a big ring on her first finger. It looks like jade. It's big. And I can see that her hands are old. Like she passed on when she was very elderly. She lived a long, full life. Yes. I also see that she wears like a skirt and a blouse and a shawl over it. And I see the big ring on her finger. And she kind of like crosses her arms like this. And then she'll also reach out her hand to hold yours. She's also really into like feeding people. She loves to feed people. She'll probably be around in the kitchen quite a bit. Whenever you're feeding yourself, she's very, very present. Yes. And I think she really wants to cook with you. I often find that when I'm cooking and when I'm washing the dishes, when I like turn distractions off, maybe some music is fine, but I turn the TV off, like that's a trance. That really is a key to trance, when they start talking to me and instructing me on what to add to the pot, and they'll just start telling me things. And I'm like, oh, I gotta write this down. But the kitchen feels like a really wonderful place to connect with your ancestral spirits. Yes. Okay. I like it. I liked that a lot. 1217. Okay, one more. Samstaluna. Oh no, I don't see a question from you. Okay, let's see who else. Kelso. Kelso, any advice on how to get out of my own way? Sam, I don't see a question for you in the question box. Oh, there it is. Okay. If I have time, I'll get to you next, Sam. Ooh, that's it. Two things for you. Kelsey. The first is the Eight of Wands, and the second is the Six of Swords. So what the Eight of Wands is telling us is that you will when you're ready. You will when you're ready. There will be a moment. There will be a moment where you are so over it. You are so over the things that you are doing to self-sabotage. And I don't even think it's self-sabotage, first of all. I'm definitely getting the feeling that you need to be a little bit nicer to yourself about whatever it is that you're doing that's standing in your own way. It's very possible that you've needed this pause. They're saying it's very possible that you've needed this pause. And what feels like standing in your own way is really like you enforcing a lack of big movement because you needed it. You needed it to like collect yourself, to gather your thoughts. And the spirits are like, when you are ready, you will get moving. You will get moving. And they want to assure you that, like, you know, I feel like we see this message a lot on social media, but like your timeline is not anyone else's timeline. And also they're talking a lot about community and the people that you associate with, the people you want to associate yourself with. Are they doing the things that you want to do? Like, are they also making the moves that you desire to see yourself making? And it doesn't mean that they have like the same desires or the same dreams, but are they also taking action in ways that are inspiring to you? This is important for you because the next card that I pulled, the Six of Swords, is saying that like when you are ready, you will do it, but you will likely need help. When you are ready, you will do it, but you will likely need help. And the biggest message of the Six of Swords is two things. One, you need to be willing to ask, right? Because if this person rowing the boat doesn't know that you need to get on, why would they offer to give you a ride across the bumpy waters? You need to be able to ask for the help that you need from anyone. The truth is, like, when we are in need of help, not everyone is going to be in a position to assist us. We don't know what shit people have going on behind the scenes, but when we put ourselves out there, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, when we ask more than one person, hey, can you help me in this way? Somebody is going to say yes. Somebody is going to say yes, whether it's a friend, a parent, a partner, a therapist, a reader, like somebody will be able to help you, a friend, a colleague. There's someone out there who has a boat that they can say yes. Why am I getting like flashes of Mamma Mia right now? Anyway, the second lesson of the Six of Swords is like, in addition to being vulnerable enough to ask for help, we need to be humble enough to receive it. We need to be humble enough to know that we need the help and to actually take it. There is this farce, this lie that is very pervasive through Western puritanical culture that we need to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps and get our shit together. I gotta be able to do this on my own. And the message of this card, as well as the Lover's card, is that there's so much healing that cannot happen alone. There's so much healing that needs to be witnessed by or assisted by another being and the spirit. We need another person and the divine to all be invited into assisting us into taking this next step. And the next thing the spirits want me to assure you of is that, like, once you start taking those little baby steps, making those tiny changes, like, you're going to feel really unstoppable. The momentum is just going, it's like you've been pushing this giant boulder up a hill. And you're like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere because it's so fucking heavy and big and the scenery hasn't changed much. But then once you take that one good step, like all of a sudden it's downhill. Blue, 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 blue. The boulder just starts rolling. And you're going to be like, this is wild. Maybe I need to slow down again. But that's life, baby. It's an ebb and flow of action and stillness, action and reception. And you've definitely been in a receptive phase for sure. When I look at the bottom of the deck, I see the Death card, which tells me that like you are being invited to take the steps to make this transformation. The Tower comes and makes changes for you. Death knocks on your door and says, will you accept this challenge? Will you accept this offer that I bring to you for a new life, a new chance, a new version of you? I also think it's interesting that we have back-to-back fire energy. I encourage you to explore fire energy in your magical practice, in your spiritual practice, and see what excites you. That's what wands are all about. What excites you, what gives you the zeal to live, to wake up every morning, what you feel passionate about. And if you're not feeling passionate about anything, start lighting a candle and asking the spirit fire, what is it? What excites me? What lights my fire? So that you can find it. Because it's there, it's in you, and you just need to get to that one point in the mountain where you push your boulder a little bit over, and then it's all going to start happening for you, my dear. They're pointing at the moon. Oh yeah, that's funny. All three of these cards have the moon in them. We have a waxing crescent, a waning crescent, and then this is another waxing moon, but it's almost full. So I would just kind of like dig into lunar phases and magic and see what's speaking to you. I'm not sure what we're like. I think 70 or 80% full right now. The full moon's coming. So start thinking about what the lunar phases mean to you in your practice and how you can work with that energy to light this fire inside of you. Okay. Kelsey. 225. I can do one more. One. Beep boop, beep boop. Gabby. Where are you at? I just saw it. Oh wait, Sam. That's who I said I was going to do. Sam. Where'd it go? It was just there. Here we go. What to focus on for fall, winter for Sam. That's it. Okay, that was fast. Lean in, lean out, and a message. It's fucking hot. It is hot. Who else is going through the heat wave in LA today? It's supposed to be done by next Monday. Okay. Fall winter guidance. It's just a big cups kind of day. For you, I pulled the Ace of Cups for what they would like you to lean into. And they're talking about how this is about exploring the realms of the spirit. There are new spirits approaching your altar at this time. They desire for you to make time for them, to connect with them, to divine with them. These particular spirits have oracular gifts. They're here to help you. They said, hone your skills of prediction. Yes. And then they're showing me a calendar. So it feels like these particular spirits are really good with like dates and planning. So when it comes to your business, or even like making plans to go on vacation, making plans with friends, these types of things, these spirits are particularly gifted at helping you choose dates, helping you choose timelines, helping you set schedules, helping you set expectations for yourself through like within certain time frames. These spirits, like, even though they are oracular, right? This is a very watery energy. They also have a very, like, earthy energy in that there's a structure to the way that they do things. There is a structure to the way that they divine. So I would spend some time asking them, like, what that structure is. What does it look like? It definitely feels like yes or no divination is particularly important, and like growing upon the yes or no divination. I don't remember if you're in moon shadows or not, but if you are, there's a workshop on using the pendulum, and we get into yes or no divination and just how like juicy that can get in that workshop. So I would check it out because it might be helpful for you. But otherwise, just do a Google. And there's good stuff on the internets too when you sift through it. The history of yes or no divination is really interesting. Get back on track. Okay, sorry. They're definitely into yes or no divination. I also feel that the pendulum is helpful when working with them as well. As you're getting to know them, it feels like their personalities come through the tarot. But when they're doing their thing, the pendulum seems to be particularly helpful. When you are doing the thing that they do, the pendulum is helpful. When I look at what we are pulling back from over this season, they want you to know that this isn't about saying goodbye to this part of yourself forever. It's just about shifting your focus for the time at hand, right? And I pulled the the King of Wands. And what they're saying is like, they don't want you to take on any projects that are like too big right now. At least not like starting things that are too big right now. If there's stuff that you've been working on for a while, you've been putting in the footwork, and you're ready to like release it, that's one thing. But they don't want you to like bite off more that you can chew. They don't want you to overpack your schedule. And I think it's funny that overpacking your schedule is coming up when you consider that the spirits coming through are very keen on how to navigate a schedule and put one together. Next card. Okay, and then finally I pulled Death for you. There's some big transitions coming. There's some big changes coming, and some like good surprises. Some really good surprises. And I think that's the big reason why they don't want you to overpack your schedule, because you need to be able to say yes. You need to have the time and the space and the energy and the attention to be able to actually say yes to this thing that's really going to fucking excite you. And if you overpack yourself with work right now, with new ideas, new launches right now, then you might not have the time to say yes to this thing that sounds really good to you. I'm not sure if this thing that you're saying next yes to is an opportunity that comes from outside of yourself, or it's like an idea that you get like halfway through the season and you're like, oh my God, this is what I was supposed to do. I'm so glad I didn't overpack my schedule. But like this, like really taking a fine-tooth comb and looking through over, the next 3 months, really through like February, what your books look like, what your appointments look like, what your days look like, and figuring out, like, do you need to spread some things out? Do you need to push some things out, move things around so that you have more space to breathe, to recuperate, to rest, and to say yes to opportunities that are exciting, that present themselves to you. What else? That's good. Okay. That's good. Your hands are sweaty. I'm so sweaty. Okay. It's 12:30. So I'm going to have to call it because I have to go pick up my kids from school. Tuesday is early dismissal day. But I want to thank everyone who came in today. I just want to remind you, this Friday is the free live rosary. Next Tuesday is Mothercraft, a workshop for the spiritual care and keeping of our kiddos. Tarot Lab, Level 1, Beginner's Introduction to Tarot. Registration for that closes at the end of this month. Scholarships are still available. Payment plans are still available. Just reach out and let me know what kind of help you need. And if you sent me a Venmo and I didn't answer your question, I've been marking them as I go, so I know who I didn't respond to. I will refund you when I get back. So probably around like 2:30, okay? All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you everyone for sharing your questions, for being vulnerable in our space. I appreciate you being here, and drink lots of water, stay cool. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.